Hello. Good evening because it's like 4:45. So I'm gonna make a quick video here, and it's gonna be like 40 minutes video. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It's in the evening right now, and it's about to get darker. And actually, the whole day was pretty dark. Like in the morning, it was a little bit sunny. I went to the gym, but then when I came back home, it was completely darker. It started to be darker, but something to get darker now. So hey, today is January 16. So time is running pretty fast. Can you believe it? We already but close the end of January, and in the coming week, we're gonna have the first day of the holiday for the 2026, which is the MLK holiday. So here I am. Today I had a lecturer, it's an option lecturer that was supposed to be a philosophy lecturer. So I went in there today and he was pretty awesome. A lot of people were professors. But for the first time, I went to the lecturer or some kind of a conference and I got confused. I didn't know what they mentioned. Like philosophy is so hard that I didn't know it was that hard. Like they use terms like digestion, like I don't know what that means. Okay, I know digestion in biology, but what they meant was totally different. So I just finished going that lecture. I had some drinks, I had some wine, so I'm not sober 100%, but I'm okay. I can still sense. So what I was in the lecturer, I was doing the schoolwork because I have classes Monday through Thursday, and then from Friday to Sunday, I dedicate the time that was supposed to be spent on a lecturer. I spend that time doing the schoolwork. So today I was supposed to be doing the schoolwork for the Monday because this makes me refresh. Yesterday's class was cancelled because of the safety on campus, so I don't know much what to do. But for this particular Monday, this past Monday, it's supposed to be big data class. So today I'm doing the work for the big data class. So I was able to install like all the needed the materials, like library, because we're using Python program. So I'm installing all the things that we need. So what I was installing, my laptop died, right? So instead of, when the lecture was over, I was like, if I stay on campus, there's no point. It's too cold outside. It's like probably like 25 degrees outside. It's very, very cold. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go home and chill. So when I just came home right now, and I was like, while I'm charging my laptop, I make a video, right? Very productive. Because if I don't make a video right now, I'm gonna make a video later on when it's darker, right? It's gonna be in the kitchen. But now I have raining on my window, so everything's fine. There's a bit outside, so it's good. Today's video is supposed to be about my reflection on moving to Washington DC. Okay, yesterday on January 15, I marked my first day. I marked my 1 year anniversary of living in the Washington DC. Okay, when I moved here, it was snow everywhere, but this year there's no snow. Okay, so that's what I noticed. But here are the things that I think that I've seen or learned about Washington DC after 1 year. Okay, so I'm gonna give my pros and cons, and these are going to be my honest reviews, my honest, understanding of this, like what I've witnessed, what I've seen from talking to people, from seeing the feedbacks, from listening to different things. All right. Number one, it's people. People here are very brilliant. They are very smart people here. They are not techie, so you don't expect like the San Jose, San Francisco techie scene where people have the solutions for every problem, where they think every problem can be solved by coding. Here people have very philosophical ideas, okay, and people have different ideas, different thinking, and that has has made me realize like the world is not about church, and technology. The world can be viewed in different ways. There are many ways to solve problems, and people have spent time just doing that, just figuring out what can we do to solve the problems in this world. Okay, this is what people have been focusing on here in Washington DC. So the time I spent here, I have realized that people are very brilliant. On top of that, people here do argue. Like imagine you work in a Congress and trying to pass, I don't know, the policies about healthcare. Then you have people who are defending corporations, people are defending Iran, people are defending Russia, people are defending, Ukraine, or you have all the different forces living in the same city. But the best part is they get along. They go out, they go to the same restaurant, they hang around, they don't fight, they don't yell at each other. Very respectful. So I found that to be very interesting here in Silicon Valley, near the Capitol Hill, or the Washington DC as they call it. And that was like the positive thing. The second positive thing that I noticed here is the museums, right? The Washington DC has a lot of museums. The first one that I went to was the African American Museum. I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was having all the history from like 1400s about Africa and the slave trade. It's pretty good, and it's free. You don't have to pay any money. And to me, that was fascinating. They have all the Barack Obamas. They have all the things that Black people have invented, like lots and lots and lots of things. And the fascinating part is that people go in there to visit. Like people from all walk of life come, they pay money, they travel here just to visit those museums, right? So I think that was impressive. The second positive part about Washington DC is the library, the Library of Congress, okay, and other libraries that are in the DC area. There is a library of the Bible. There is like libraries of everything, right? So the Library of Congress have everything you need. Anything that is related to laws and policies and politics, they have all you need. And people are very respectful, very understanding. I found that to be very, very interesting as well. So that was a positive part. Another positive thing that I want to mention here, there is more. It's the open space. Okay, there is no skyscraper in Washington DC, so you can actually see skyscrapers in other cities. When you are in other cities, you think skyscrapers are good, you think they are beautiful, but here in DC, you can realize they actually not good. DC has an open space, right? You can see the Capitol, you can see the White House from any angle, making it one of the best rules this has ever implemented. So you can actually see no matter which side of the highway coming from, you always see the Capitol from any angle. I think that was spot on. That was really good. So I enjoyed that for my time in Washington DC. Public transportation. Yeah, I've taken the metro so many times. The metro is accessible, and the best part, during the holiday, any holiday, the metro is 100% free. Like you just walk straight in, everything's open. I mean, I would assume that during the holiday they will charge more for the metro, so they can collect more money. They actually make it free, so people can come in and visit. Every day, over 2 million people go to Washington DC, and then after that they go home. So you have 20 people going to DC, then coming out, right? So that was very interesting part. There is more positive things to mention here, but the last thing I want to mention here about Washington DC, as far as I've seen, it's the amount of I forgot the last one that I was about to mention. The buildings, the architecture, like it's very unique. Like you cannot find it anywhere, right? Like from the White House architecture to like buildings having different colors. I think that was fantastic. I think that was great. I enjoyed that as well. for my time here in Washington DC. There's more. If everything comes up, I'm gonna definitely mention this. But for now, those are like my main positive things or pros that I've seen here in Washington DC. The con, the negative part of DC, as far as I can remember, the number one. I came from California, so this is not a high cost of living. It's not in the equation, so I'm not gonna say it's expensive. Actually, it's not. The gas price is cheaper, so that's actually a positive. But the con is crime. Like there is more crime here in DC, and I was surprised because there is my assumption was if a capital city, if I'm going to live in a capital city, the city that is where the president lives, I should be guaranteed 100% safety. Like there should be no crime, zero crime. I was surprised. I still don't know. I wasn't born here, so I will never know. But I don't know what is crime in Washington DC. I don't actually know. Like I have zero clue what is crime in Washington DC. I have zero clue people commit crimes. Like in other states, maybe it could be gang-related activities, right? But there should be no gangs in Washington DC, especially if there is like a president within a few miles, and the city is funded by the Congress. So I was surprised by the amount of crime here. You are more likely to be a victim of crime at the U.S. Capitol or the White House compared to like other places in the country. Okay, so it's not safe to be on the U.S. Capitol than anywhere else. Okay, that the safety is at risky for being just in DC. And this is not like a random, or Russian or random Middle Eastern persons want to harm you. Like no, this is like the people who are from here, the American people committing crimes, whether it's to break into cars, speeding to the traffic, right? Like those things do in fact make this look really, really bad. Okay, so I'm gonna get closer here. So that was my con. Crime is much higher. And this, speaking of crime, yesterday my 1 year anniversary, my university was shut down because there was multiple shootings on the university. Okay, so crime is much, much higher, and it's the whole city. Okay, maybe I think if you live in like rich area, maybe like Crystal City, but I doubt it. This crime is so high here. Second con, obviously, is traffic, but with metro you can work it out. If you live outside the DC, you can have a hard time commuting. Traffic is really heavy on the highways because the highways connect states. They don't connect cities, they connect states. So you're gonna have to be in the traffic Monday to Friday, pretty heavy traffic. I made the videos about this, right? Traffic is pretty heavy. Another con I'm trying to come up with here, because I'm trying to think right now. I didn't put them down because I don't put down anything. Another con about living in Washington DC is the income inequality. Okay, I don't know if this is a con or this is, I don't know how to put it. I don't know which category to put in there, but there should be, not only should be there no crime in DC, but also there should be no poor people. Okay, like what do Congress come to do in DC if they want to fix their hometowns problems, but where they live has more problems, right? Like how do the United States fix problems in other countries? Like why do we even have embassies in DC? Like I saw embassies and I was like, wait a minute, we have embassies in DC from poor countries like Sudan, Congo. How do you expect the United States to fix those countries' problems, specifically the poverty problems, when they are actually poor people here across the street? This is divided into two sections. You have the rich section and the poor section. Okay, this is not like poor. When I say poor, I don't mean like homeless people. Okay, like like in California, I can see poor people in, in people are not, the people are just homeless. They battling drug addictions. They're battling issues, right? That is understandable. Those people, they need help. Here it's not about like mental health, drug issues. This is more like people just don't know have the opportunity. They just poor. Like the housing market, the house is poor. They can barely afford the food, like, and it's understandable, right? Like there is no jobs, there's no factories here. So unless you work in the government, or unless you work in, I don't know, some kind of, I'm trying to think something that you can work on here. Maybe technology, which also hires highly educated people, right? So that is the most thing I'm gonna say is the con about living Washington is just the income gap, the inequality gap between the rich and the poor. Okay, the northeast and the northwest shifting all the way towards Virginia, then that's like the rich, high income area, very educated area. Then shifting towards the southeast, that's like very poor areas, all the way to Maryland and PG County. People are extremely poor. Big poverty is visible. Okay, I hope there is some kind of assistance, some kind of income assistance, like food stamp. I'm not too sure. I don't know how that works in DC, but people they should get some help. Otherwise, that's so poor people. All right. So that's the con. Other cons I can think of, there are so many police officers here, a lot of police officers, too many police, and too many crimes. Okay, maybe the best way to reduce crimes is to have too many police. Is that logically possible? It's economically impossible. Like if you do the math, statistically you cannot. This is like saying if we have too many people who are sick, if we have people in a hospital, if we have too many doctors in a hospital, it's going to prevent people from getting sick. Like if you have people who like to get sick a lot in a specific area, by having too many doctors, it's going to prevent people from getting sick. Like that is not something that I think makes sense. All right, but you could have, I don't know, just think that you don't need, like if you have 20 doctors, what's going to happen is going to be one patient with too many doctors, and that patient is going to be terrified, and there's going to be too many decisions to make in how to treat that patient. Okay, so the police officers, there are too many, so it's very hard to, but the good news is so recently, since I moved here, the crime has gone down to 55% from what I've seen from the mayor of Washington DC. So that's a positive thing. I don't know if the crime went down because of Trump. I don't wanna give him credit because I don't wanna endorse him, because it's going to be like this video might blow up and become like very negative. People use it as an excuse, but hey, he deployed National Guard, he did a bunch of BS stuff, like whatever he did it. Just know that the crime has actually gone down. So very little do we hear the news announcing, or do we see the notification from our phone all the single time, like, hey, be alert. That is not happening as much. So that was positive. It's positive that we don't see as much crimes as we was before. Okay, but from my understanding, There's National Guards everywhere. I don't know if they arrest people, but I see National Guards everywhere. But there is also a lot of police officers. So every like few inches, there's police vehicles parked there with their blue lights on. So I think that helps a lot. So that's enough for the crime and for the whatever, the income inequality. They had another thing about the income that they see con is the cameras. There are cameras everywhere, and I don't think cameras pay any difference. Like drivers, they are stopping here. Those who want to stop, they're stopping here. So majority of drivers are actually very nice. Some drive through, right? So whether you have cameras or not, people are still gonna violate the laws anyways, right? And people who are really poor, guess what? People who do have cars and they get given tickets are the same people who live outside the metro area, outside the city, who are poor. They are pushed away. And because these people cannot work in the government, sometimes they can work next security. They can become a security guards. They can become like those easy jobs, working in restaurants. But those jobs pay little, so they have to live away from the city to afford anything. So they need a vehicle to drive. And these people, the little money they make, they are charged with cameras, charging them for whether speeding or traffic violations. So it's like literally making poor people more poor. If you live in DC, like for instance, I go to school here, so I can just commute after school, walk to school, right? Or if I have to, I don't know, like get a job in DC or just take a metro to work in DC. Alright, so my options keeps getting bigger. I can also move to a different state, and because I have a degree, move to a different state, get a new job over there. Alright, these people have no options, right? They have to stay here. So when they are overcharged a couple times, 3 times, 4 times, I think that's not fair for them. So cameras are illegal. The other Trump wants to ban them. Hopefully he does it. Right? He's been doing a lot of things, and he might do it. So that's my time here in Washington DC for 1 year. If you're asking yourself why am I making this video, like why did I move here in the first place, it's because when I moved to the United States, when I moved to US, the first place that I landed was in New York City. New York City at the JFK airport. It was amazing. It was like really amazing. So I loved everything. The first people I got exposed to were military officials on the airport. Very tall military people with boots on and stuff. So I was like, well, man, I know seen this kind of soldiers before, because soldiers in Uganda they wear green or bluish, blue and white clothes, right? Those are like police or military police. But here in the United States, militaries wear clothes that look like desert, right? Khaki clothes. So it was something new to me. The last time I saw that was in the movies, so I never really see that in real life. So this was New York City, and then I took the metro, the New York City subway to go to the office, of course, for the migrations. We did the paperwork and everything, right? Then we flew to Washington. We flew to our state where we were going, me and my family. So from September 2016, I didn't have any money. So when we come here, we have no money, $0. So I started thinking, okay, I'm gonna make money. The first thing I'm gonna do is explore this country. Okay, so I started exploring when in 2018. I got my first job. I got my first job in 2017. My first job, I started working. Then I didn't have enough money, so in 2018, I didn't have an ID, like driving ID. So I got my driver's license. Then 2018, I got my green card and everything. Then 2019, I was ready to explore. So when the COVID came, 2019, I traveled to Los Angeles for the first time. So 2019 around September, I went to Los Angeles. That was my first city to go to outside my state that I have landed in. my first time in Los Angeles. This was September. So September, it's normally colder here. So I went to Los Angeles. It was very warm and good looking. I was like, damn, like this is how Los Angeles looks like, right? I loved Los Angeles. I enjoyed it. I went to the Beverly Hills. I went to the Walk of Fame and the Hollywood. So I love United States. Then I met the guy at my Airbnb, and the guy was coming to Los Angeles for like some workshop. I asked him like, where do you live? And he said, I live in San Jose. I was like, where's that? He's like, up north. I was like, is that a different state? He said, no, this is still California. You are in the south, there's another north. So I was like, I'm gonna go there one day. So I came back. I didn't have enough money, so I came back home. I was there for 3 weeks. I met many Asians from China who came for vacations, very rich Asians. They gave me a free ride in a very luxury vehicle to the airport, going back home. Man, around friends, like so wonderful. I was like, damn, like people are really nice here, people are rich, right? I got exposed to real America. So since then, my curiosity sparked, like, where is Silicon Valley? Where is San Jose? Oh, San Jose is where all these technologies are located. I was like, I have to go there. I have to. So during COVID-19, I lived with my friend, my roommate, and my roommate from around December 2019, or actually January 1st, 2019, January 1st, until August 2020. That's when I moved out of my family's house and I went to live by myself. Okay, I wanted to be independent. So during COVID, I was having a job, so I was getting paid. I only worked 2 days, I think. I worked 2 days and 3 days off. So 2 days in, 3 days off. And I was getting paid the whole 40 hours. So it was wonderful, right? Because it was under the government's recommendations to pay workers. Thanks to Donald Trump. At the time, Trump was the president. So we were still getting paid. It was wonderful. So my roommate though lost his job. He was working like with a motorcycle. He lost his job, so he has to move. And then that's when I asked him like, where can I go? I want to be somewhere else. I want to travel somewhere else. So I told him that I've been to California, but I want to go back. Like I was in Los Angeles. It's too expensive, right? The pay for the working warehousing job is very cheap. It's not that much. He's like, James, you can live anywhere, right? He was a white dude. He's like, you can live anywhere in the world. You have the potential to live anywhere. So don't be scared. Don't be worried about it. So I got into a car one time, and I drove from my state all the way to Massachusetts. Why? Because I wanted to explore each city from Delaware to Washington D.C. here, and then to New Jersey, New York City, and then New York City, then in New Hampshire, then obviously Massachusetts, Boston. So the goal was to decide where can I move to. So I came in Washington D.C. in May 2020. Okay, that was the first time I have been here. But remember, I drove here. Before that, I've been to California and Los Angeles. So when I drove here, it was to compare to see where should I move to adventure to. So when I came to Washington D.C., I looked at Washington D.C. like I was having an Airbnb in Maryland, but it was a little bit far from DC. But if I can remember, it didn't feel safe to be in Maryland. Like something tell me that this is not a safe place to be. So I drove to DC, and DC was empty because it obviously was doing COVID at the time. And I parked my car. Parking was free. I look at DC, like it's so big, it's huge. I enjoyed it, but I'm like, there's no jobs here, so if I have to move here, life will be much harder and it's too expensive. So I kept driving all the way to Massachusetts, and I was in Boston, and I looked at Boston, I was like, Boston, in a way I'm living here now. So the Boston was off the chart, DC was off the chart, and I was like, the last thing I can do is move to Los Angeles. But what can I do there? What's the point? I'm not a celebrity, I'm not an actor. Another idea came to mind. Why don't you visit San Jose? Right? You want to see this technology, this AI and stuff. And at the time I was in a coding boot camp, which I just dropped out, right? Because I didn't have enough money to pay for this coding boot camp. I'm going to tell this story later on in the future. But I was also a computer science major in the college before dropping out. So I spent more money again, got into a flight, and I flew to San Jose. Okay, I flew to San Jose in around, this was around, this was around, so remember I came to visit DC and northern part in May, so it took me like 1 month to have enough money to travel to California because it's too expensive. I didn't have any money. I was broke, and my apartment was expensive. Me and my roommate lived in a very expensive apartment, so very luxury apartment. So by July, I remember, July, that's when I flew to California, and I went to travel there. So when there for traveling, I was there for no, this was like June. Yeah, this was like June. I traveled there for like about, and at the time there was protest. There was protest everywhere in DC. So I traveled there. I visited, San Jose, and I enjoyed it. It's very calm. They have Asian communities. It's very flat, so you can walk around. I was like, then jobs pay a lot of money, and they have factories, Tesla, Amazon, like universities are so fantastic. People are so brilliant. Young people everywhere. There are so many young people. I was like, yeah, this is for me. I have to move here. So I came back to Charlotte. Then I went online. I looked up for staffing agencies. I found a staffing agency. I called them. They're like, hey, we are hiring. I was like, sweet. So I got a job at Tesla to work in a factory. Then I packed my stuff in August. I flew there, and I went there, and I remember when I was in the airport, and a pilot asked me, where are you going? And I said it was a black pilot. I said, captain, a black captain. I said, I'm going to San Jose. And he said, why are you moving there? Everybody's moving out, right? Remember, never listen to negativity. Never ever. So I moved there. At the time, California was like shut down because of COVID. There was fires going on. So to me, everything was like brand new, like learning from scratch, just getting everything started. So that's why I went back to school. So I started my education. And then 4 years later, I left the whole California, had a bachelor's degree, made some friends, and I plan to go back too, because I love it. So in the 2023, I had to come back to see my family in the state, because they were still here in the original state. So I saw them for 1 year, so from 2020 to 2025, and I was like, okay, I cannot go back to California. I'm gonna have to explore my last option, my last city I want to explore, and I can't go to New York City. I don't like New York City, right? So the last option will be Washington DC. I want to check out how politicians do things. What do they think? Who they are? Who runs behind the scene? Where's the Pentagon? Never seen Pentagon before, right? Visit the museums, understand the culture, the real life. So here I am. I moved here in last year, and I guess I'm gonna be here for the next. And I came here, and I also went to pursue my degree in economics at Caltech University of America. So my hope is that when I finish my degree, hopefully I will be able to settle down and see it, because it's been a very, very good adventure. But that's it. That's the story of me leaving DC. This is how I ended up here. All right. People don't know my background. They don't know what I've done before. They don't know I've worked different companies. They don't know that I have worked for different jobs. They don't know that I have a huge networking of people, a huge community. That's because I keep it low key, right? I blocked my social media. I blocked all my stuff. Everything's blocked. Okay, nothing is functional. So that's all for today. Like always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy my story, give me a follow. Like always, have a good night. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye. Adios.